I'm Isha Roy and welcome to today's talk. Today we're going to talk about a DC-based Bollywood movie production called 9/11 that has been filmed in our very own backyard and features talented Indian American actors from the DC area. Written and directed by Manan Singh Katohora, 9/11 is the story of 10 people who are trapped in a terrorizing situation and are forced to evaluate their lives and reveal their darkest secrets in order to survive. It's a fast-paced thriller. Manan Singh Katohora has received the Rising Star Award for this film at the 2012 Canada International Film Festival. We have with us Tejash Natali, one of the leading stars from 9/11, who will tell us a little bit more about the film. Tejash, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here, Isha. Thank you very much.
So Tejash, 9/11 is your first feature-length film. Can you tell us what inspired you to join the world of acting, and how did you get involved with this particular film?
That's a great question, Isha. I think acting for an Indian is inborn. I mean, there are only a couple of things in India that are like, at that level. One is cricket. Right. Acting, Bollywood is another one that people and the world knows us from. So I think acting was something that I always wanted to do as a hobby, and, I always had a passion for it. Of course, never had an opportunity to do it. But then, came across 9/11, and this was my, first feature, as you mentioned. And it was a great experience working at a 9/11. So I think what happened is the director of the movie, Manan Singh Katohora, and the producer, Narayan Mathur, they are very close friends. We've been talking about, making movies and stuff back and forth. But eventually this project came through, and, Narayan Mathur as well as Manan thought that, there was this one role which no one wanted to do, who could have fit me well. Right. And that's how I got this opportunity.
Okay, wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about the significance behind the title without necessarily giving away too much of the suspense
right.
of the movie?
We get that question all the time. I think 9/11, first of all, I would like to say that this has nothing to do with the date. Because as soon as you say 9/11, September 11th comes to your mind, and this particular movie in this area, we have never thought about that. We never gave date a thought. So the outline of the story is pretty much very different from actually what you would have seen in a Bollywood movie. It's about 11 people getting kidnapped, put in a room, and then they try to figure out why they're there. What is the significance of them being there? And then every 9 minutes, the kidnapper comes into that room and kills someone. Right. And hence the name 9/11. Right. That's how the significance came through.
9 मिनट के बाद आऊंगा और किसी एक को मौत से मिलाऊंगा जब तक कि तुम लोग वो वजह जानना हो।
हमें और वक्त चाहिए। जो तुम मांग रहे हो वो इम्पॉसिबल है।
तुम सब लोग यहाँ क्यों?
Now, the story is, like you said, it's kind of focused on these 11 or 10 people once people watch it. And in the beginning of the movie, they are complete strangers. They're, like random people thrown into this room. But as you start watching the movie, you realize that there is a connection between all the characters.
Right.
And you also, the characters themselves realize that certain actions kind of had a consequence on this kidnapper's life, which is the reason why he wants to get his revenge. So do you think that's one of the messages from the film? We have to kind of be aware of our actions, because all of our actions, whether small or big, has a consequence on someone's life.
When I was reading the script, that was exactly what we were thinking. That why should we make this movie? First of all, I mean, maybe it's a fun project, or maybe someone has a lot of money to waste on. But that was not the case. Right. It was this particular message that we wanted to bring out. We wanted to show that people from different aspects of the life, where they're confined to a particular location, their inner self comes out, and that inner self is the person that person is really, So that's the kind of message we want to bring out to everyone. That no matter what you do, big or small, it definitely impacts someone somewhere, and then it can have an issue in the future. So that's the kind of storyline or the background message that I think the scriptwriter wanted to bring to this movie.
Oh, great. So the movie has won this award at the Canada International Film Festival.
Yes.
And it has released in India.
Yes.
So what's been the overall reaction to this movie?
Right. We're definitely looking forward for more releases overseas, like Canada. And in fact, we have a release coming up not only in Washington, D.C., but also a screening in New York. And then we won this Rising Star Award in Canada, which was fantastic, actually. But yes, going back to Mumbai, which is where the movie was actually released, So we have like, unfortunately I couldn't travel to Mumbai for the release, but some of my friends and one of the character, Satya, which is played by my dear friend Chinmay, he actually was in Mumbai, and so was Nikitasha and a couple of others. And this is what I heard from them, that actually they watched the first screening in a particular theater in Mumbai. And as you know, from point A to point B, it is chaotic. It's like 495, right, in Mumbai. By the time they reached to the next theater, it was the third show in the next theater. And as soon as they walked in, people started to recognize them.
Wow.
They're like, oh, Satya bhai, aaye,
Wow.
So, I mean, that tells you that the response was great. People were watching it.
One of the interesting things about this movie is that a lot of it was filmed in the DC area.
Yes.
And it included actors, Indian American actors from this area. Tell us about that experience. What was it like working in your own backyard with actors from the Indian American community in the DC area?
It was a great experience. I mean, I can't even put words to the experience that I had. Fantastic. We grew up like a family within that period of time. Within the 3 months, we were so close friends and like family. Many of the shots, or in fact 97% of the movie is actually shot here in Maryland and DC, in Laurel actually. So it was great.
Wonderful. And it's also nice to see familiar faces, people you have seen in the community events, and to see them on
absolutely,
in a movie.
Yeah.
And so what are some of your upcoming projects? Where can we expect to see Tejash next?
Yes, interesting. So I'm working on a couple of scripts. Actually, after this particular movie, I had this one person call me from New York. I don't know how he got into, he got my name, but he has actually written a book on Indians who were traveled to Trinidad and Tobago, so the West Indies.
Right.
You know that there are a lot of Indians with Indian blood living over there, and they moved, I think, sometime in the 1800s. So there's this person who's written a book, and he wants to make a movie out of it.
Okay.
So I'm working on that script. And then also Manan Singh Katohora, my dear friend, who's the director of this movie, is also working on a next project. And I think it's called LOLCI. Manan, sorry if I gave your movie name out. But the movie is LOLCI, which means laughing out loud, crying inside. So I'm working on that project also. So I have a couple of projects that I'm working on right now.
Okay, and that'll also be based in the DC area?
Yes, LOLCI is definitely based in DC. The other script that I'm writing that probably will need travel to India as well as the Trinidad.
So thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you continued success with your acting career.
Thank you very much, Isha. And it was a pleasure talking to you, everyone, viewers from Imagination.